Hey, I'm George. If you're just joining us, we had a house fire. Everything's fine. So that's why we're doing this today. We finally got our camper to live back on our property, which we are excited as all get out to get back here. But there were a few things that need to be done before we moved in. This was one of them. Now, granted, it didn't absolutely need to be done, but I wanted to have it done so we'd be prepared when the time came. And that is installing a hard line from that camper to my septic. Simple enough, and I'm going to show you how to do it real quick. So first things first, you're actually going to have to find where your septic line is running, and then you're going to have to dig down to it. You're also going to have to make a determination where is the best place to tie into it. And here I got pretty lucky. There's a clean out here. That is awesome. That's a lot less work than I was expecting. So now I'm just going to unscrew the clean out, screw our adapter in there, and then run that pipe over to there. I think we got this. The next thing you're going to want to do is lay out exactly where you want your pipe to go. Here I tied a small string to one side of the camper where the cleanouts are for the black and gray water, and then I just drug it over to where the cleanout is on the septic line, so I knew roundabout where I was going with the pipe. Here I'm just unscrewing the cap that's on the cleanout, and I'm deburring the pieces of coupling that I'm going to have to glue together. And you always want to deburr any kind of PVC that you're putting together, that way nothing gets hung up on the edges. Here I'm just priming and gluing all the pieces together, and you always want to make sure that you're using the correct glue and primer for the type of pipe that you're using. It will say it on the glue. Here I'm test fitting and making sure I have enough depth to create that 1/4 inch per foot slope that I'm going to need. And speaking of 1/4 inch per foot, I'm going to have to explain something, so we're going to stop right there.
So please excuse this crude drawing, but I figured it would be the best way to get the point across of how I actually found the slope. With the black water tank pipe connecting to your septic, so for instance this side connects to the camper, this side goes to the septic, you are looking for 1/4 inch per foot slope. Now what does that mean? That means that for every foot you go horizontally, you want a 1/4 inch of rise, and that will give you a 1/4 inch per foot. In this instance, I had a 4-foot level, and I used a 1-inch spacer block. And really the size of your level dictates the spacer size block that you're going to need. So if I have a 4-foot long level, and it's a 1/4 inch per foot slope, and it's 4 feet here, 4 quarters would equal 1 inch, and that spacer block would go there. And at that point I would raise the angle of the pipe up until that red level, and the bubble was in the center. So you can see I've got one end touching the pipe and the other corner on the spacer block. If, for instance, you had a 2-foot level, this spacer block would be a 1/2 inch. And you would do the same exact thing, put it one side and on the other, and then raise that pipe until that red level. It's fairly simple. All that matters is you keep it consistent with the 1/4 inch per foot slope, depending on the size level you have. If you have a 1-foot level, you're going to use 1/4 inch. If you have a 3-foot level, you're going to use 3/4 of an inch spacer block, and that will give you the proper slope.
Now we can get back to it. Here you can actually see me using the level. pipe quickly left the ground, and so I had to build these little stools really quickly in order to hold up the pipe until I got my finalized supports in. Had to get apart and I ran out of light. So here we are. So that's about as close as we're gonna get her tonight. There is the galley water, and there is the black water and gray water mix. So both of those can connect there as soon as I get an adapter and have the hose. So I got down to the local RV center today and I picked up this. And what this is a rigid pipe adapter. This will actually spin. These are, I guess, are called bayonets, and they lock on to the studs that are on your black water pipe. And so what I did, threaded part, PVC 3-inch threaded adapter. Just take this, and it is, what do they call it? It's slanted in, like pipe thread. Take this and tighten it down as you can. That's as far as she's going, maybe. Just tight. And then, because we had 4-inch pipe, I got an adapter, 4-inch or 3-inch. So you just take this, you like that, and then you put this onto your 4-inch pipe. Keep that there. Then the only thing we've got to worry about is just keeping this supported, which they have these things that come under here and they'll be supported. But you always leave this closed until it's completely full, and then you open it up and it'll wash everything out at the same time. Solids, liquids, and the liquids bring the solids down the line. So there we are. Got a solid line, and I'll put some supports under here later on. Don't need them right now. We're not letting it go, and I probably won't put the supports underneath it until we're ready to flush it. Just don't need to be there. So, yeah. I was originally going to use steel posts here, but I found these little plastic garden stakes at the big box store, and so I just decided to hammer a couple of those in next to it and use some galvanized picture wire in order to wrap around the pipe and just tie it off to those clips on those stakes, and that held it pretty good. That's it. That is how you can hardline a black water tank into an existing septic. I got lucky. I was able to find the clean out and just unthread it, thread into that. If I wasn't so lucky, I would likely have to cut the pipe and put in a T to where we could tie into with that T. Yeah, that's how you do it. Simple as that. I wish you guys the best of luck. Hope you can hug your families tonight, and check your smoke detector. It's gonna save lives. This one's going out to the guy giving me sideways looks in the parking lot of Lowe's, and he stuck around for the show. You can fit 50 feet of 4-inch pipe into a Honda Accord and all your couplings. Crap, I meant to pause that.